This is our Wednesday night class, channeling number 126. On the title of tonight's class is Be True to Yourself. Being true to yourself requires a feeling of self-worth. To have self-worth, you need to understand yourself, who you truly are, where you are, and where you're going. Keep this upwards in your thinking. You are children of all light, and His name is just God. As children of God, you are created in His image and likeness. Within you, you have the potential of all that God is. You are a divine being. Think of yourself in this way. Not with pride, but with humility. When you realize that you have the potential of God, you know that you can mold and shape your life as you desire. Pride is one of man's worst enemies. When you are proud of yourself, it is the little physical self that you are giving credit to, instead of being grateful for what you are and what you have. Let's start that all. Be grateful for what you are and what you have, and more will be added to you. Without the power of God, you cannot lift your little finger or accomplish anything. Give God the credit, for He is the life force that flows through you, sustaining and maintaining your being. Good evening, my friends. It is with great joy that I come to you from these realms of love and light. This is Don, your doorkeeper, the door that leads to light and love and beauty and joy. It is nice to see this circle of light. As you think of yourself sitting here in the circle of light, think of yourself as divine being. Eliminate anything that is less than your true self. As you go through your days, think of yourself as children of God, made in the image and likeness that He is. And as you grow up, as you mature in your soul's growth, you are moving towards becoming God's and knowing it. You already are God's, but to be able to demonstrate it, that is what you're working towards. This may sound too much for those who are first hearing this, but it is true nevertheless. And your plane of illusion would tell you different. And some would tell you that it is sacrilegious to think in this way. But your master teacher said, "Know ye not that ye are God's?" And he said, "Know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Free from the illusions of this physical plane, free from the traps that keep you earthbound. As you learn to think correctly, to think only in a beautiful, loving way, eliminating any kind of fear, As you learn to do this, you are moving higher and higher in consciousness, and you are allowing God to manifest through you in a greater ability. God is manifesting through you now, for He is giving you life, the life force, just as this electricity is giving you light and cooling and many other things. God is giving you the life force, and He is giving you the free will to do with it as you will. This is very important to remember, that God or any of His helpers cannot help you unless you ask for it. They cannot infringe on your free will. So it is wise to start your day by sending God's love ahead into your day and asking for His love to help you in all your ways, in your every thought, word, and deed, into every situation, into every encounter. And as you move through your day, send love ahead into those that you will meet and those that you will contact. And if you work in a place, fill this place to overflowing with God's love. Fill your house to overflowing with God's love. But my dear ones, everything that is God. And as John said in your Bible, God is love. So in true reality, everything is divine love. Everything that exists has life force, and it is created out of the substance of divine love, the essence of life, the essence of God. As you learn to think well of yourself, as you learn to think of yourself as you truly are, then you drop away the old thoughts, the old feelings, and you are renewed by renewing your mind and your thoughts and your feelings, your mood, and your attitude. It doesn't matter what you did 10 minutes ago or even 1 minute ago. Your past is history, as your children say, and it is gone. You cannot call it back, but you can do something with now. You can assume the role of that which you truly are. Be your divine self. Allow yourself to be lifted up by knowing this and knowing that it is all right unless you do it with pride. Do it in all humility, my dear one. Humility does not mean groveling in the dirt or subjecting yourself to harmful things. True humility, the definition of this word, is knowing the truth, capital T, about yourself, the eternal truth about yourself. And as you understand that you are children of the Most High God, that you are divine, as you think of yourself in this way, and as you act in this way, as you think in this way, and feel in this way, and this brings about the consciousness of your divine inheritance. It brings it about within yourself. That is the only place that it matters. It matters not what other people think of you, but it does matter what you think of you. Because you are co-creators with God, and you can create your divine self, or you can create a lowly sinner, or some other thing that you might put a name to. It is your choice. You, in true reality, you are not a lowly sinner. in true reality, you are divine. You have come to these lower dimensions to learn and to grow and to know yourself more completely. Many times, you have been one, totally one with God. And many times you have come out of the Godhead, or the Garden of Eden, and come down to these lower dimensions as you think of them. We do not think in that way, but you come down to have experience so that you can build your foundation stronger, your spiritual foundation within yourself, and so that you can understand the spiritual truth of the divine being that you are, so that you can understand it more completely. Life is a wonderful and beautiful experience when you let it be. But you can make it hell for yourself too. You can make it rough and be depressed and all kinds of negative things. But you see, my dear ones, when you read, understand that you create your own reality, you create your life as it is with your thinking pattern, then you can change your thinking patterns and you can be that divine being in consciousness as you already are in reality. There is much to say about this because so many have been trained and conditioned to think of themselves as lowly sinners or that they never can get out of this. And this is completely wrong because your Bible says that you are made in the image and likeness of the Creator. And if you are made in His image and likeness and you're children of His, then you are as He is. You are as God is. Now, you may not realize it at this moment. You may not be demonstrating it at this moment. But those who continue to move up the ladder of spiritual understanding grow closer and closer to manifesting the beauty of God. This is our reason in being, my dear one. God created us to manifest His divine love, His joy and beauty, and all the other wonderful things that God is. So much more that your language could not contain it. And He loves you with a love so great that your universe could not contain it. And this is why it is continually expanding and growing to contain God's love for you and for all His creation. These words are strange to some of you, but as you move into a greater enlightenment, you will embrace them and know the truth about them and know that it is all right to think of yourself as divine because you are. If you were not, I would tell you so. You are children of the Most High God. You are divine. And as you learn to use His love to be a channel for God's love to flow through, then you are manifesting God in the physical. When you send God's love, because God is love. The love of God's substance is a real substance, just as anything physical that you see is a substance. this chair that you sit on, the microphone you speak through. And God's love is so much more than this because it is eternal. And the things that you see on the physical plane, the things, even your physical bodies, are transient unless you learn to spiritualize them and turn them into pure light. There have been many who have done this. This is not necessary for you to do this to reach the higher understanding, but some have chosen to go this path. Every one of you in the whole universe is different. Every one is a different expression of God, of life. I would like to hear some comments or questions about what you think has been already said. Feel free to ask questions or make comments about this subject that we're talking about, or whatever you want to ask about. As you feel free enough to have a two-way communication, we get so much more out of the class because, you see, you are contributing, and the more you give to this contact, the more we get from it.
I'm free. That we are kind of staring for after we die. And we can walk right in. We said, do we have things on the other side? Do they have this? Do they have mechanical thing over there? But lights on the other side. You get out I know they know conversation telepathically, but and they have a lot of beauty, but
and dear one,
and the people we have known, we will ease. Yeah,
that is correct. You seem to need this confirmation every once in a while, my dear Annabelle, and you do not need to sleep when you graduate from this plane.
You won't be tired?
No. Unless you are on the planes of darkness now, but none in this room will be on those planes of darkness.
We won't bring any of our past mistakes with us, will we?
Oh yes, you bring them all.
We're going to bring all of our friends
all of those that you have not taken care of. You see, it is a matter, it's not a punishment thing. God does not punish you. God only loves you. God does not condemn you in any way. He sees you as perfect as He created you.
I hope I don't he's lost it. This silver one that they're over on the other side.
Yeah, but good. You will be what you will be, my dear. Try not to be concerned about it. Your growth that you have made in this lifetime is a plus. You can be certain of that. And when you get there, you will drop away the old tired body, and you will have plenty of energy, plenty of life force flowing through you. You will not have a sun that sets or rises, so you will not be involved with time or space. You will not be involved with the concept of duality, of good and evil.
The Buddha has problems over there to solve also.
You have understandings. Let us think of them as opportunities instead of problems. Because when you go to school, you start in the first grade and you learn your ABCs, and then you learn to read in the second grade maybe, and so on. This is what life is all about, is learning and growing and expanding. It is not about punishment. It is not about good or evil. There is no such thing. And when you learn to understand this and can accept it, then you move much higher in consciousness, because you can turn your back on your past and let it drop away from you. Take the story of Daniel in the lion's den. When the Romans were feeding the Christians to the lions, Daniel fell out of grace with the Romans, the city hall, you might say, and they threw him in the lion's den. And if you remember the story, the lions didn't do anything to him. Now, why not? Because he turned his back on the lions and turned his face to God, the very words that your Bible says. You see, he gave the so-called problem no thought. He gave his thought to the answer. And God and God's love is the answer to anything that you need. At any time that you can take this so-called problem that is truly an opportunity for growth, and you can turn your back on it and release it to God and send God's love into it and ask for understanding. The understanding will be there. You may not be open to hear it, or you may not accept what is given to you, because it may not be what you want, but it is always there. God is continually communicating with you. He is closer to you than your hands and your feet and your breath, because he is your breath. He is the life source. He is the blood flowing through your veins. He has given you life from himself. So he and you are one. How could he not love you?
Music over there too, Hoppel.
Yes, there is. There's beautiful music. Much, much more beautiful than what you have.
I reckon that music.
There's all the beautiful things in life. And there are many, many dimensions. Many dimensions. And when you graduate, most people call it death, but we call it graduate from this plane because it is a graduation. And when you graduate and your time for this incarnation is up, then you automatically go to the dimension that you are vibrating at, your level of consciousness. You automatically gravitate to that. And you will be around people who are very much like you and in harmony with you, and you in harmony with them. And you will talk to your teachers. You will look over the life that you have just come out of and see it clearly for what it was. See all the so-called mistakes when you had gone against the grain of life, and add up the score and see where you stand. See if you add a plus or a minus in that incarnation. And when this is through, then you look at yourself from a long ways in the past to a long way in the future. And you start making plans for what you want to do. And you may want to come back for another trip here to finish up some things that were left undone. You may want to stay on that dimension, or you may want to go to another planet. There are many, many options. But you see, your level of consciousness makes the choice for you. But it is you that created your level of consciousness. So you do choose what you do. But I tell you, my dear ones, there is much, much ahead of you that is so glorious and grand that your human minds could not conceive of it.
So then how we get it, we can't conceive it. So you got to conceive of it to enter it.
I said your human minds cannot conceive of it. But when you experience it, then you know it, do you not? Yes, and you can experience it while you're still in the physical. If you reach high enough in your consciousness, there have been many who have been Christed on this physical plane, just as your master was Christed. He was Christ before he came into that incarnation that you knew him as Jesus. But he went through the play and played the role out to give you an example to go by. That was his reason for coming to this plane, is to, at every new age, which is 2100 and some odd years, a new avatar comes, or there may be several, come to set the path for you to go by. Because in that length of time, the truth gets distorted. And your writings, that you call the Bible, has been translated so many times from different languages that it is difficult to understand it. And some of it is distorted. But as you open up to life, as you open up to yourself and think well of yourself, feel good about yourself, no matter what's happened in your past is gone. And you can wipe it all out through understanding and wisdom. You have had many, many experiences, and you will have many more, because that's what life is all about, is to have experience. And keep through the experience, you grow and move higher in consciousness. And the beautiful celestial music is right there for you to hear when you open up to it, even while you're in the physical. And it is a wonderful and beautiful experience to have this.
I had a question.
Yes.
The first question is, knowing that Jesus was Christ, the unequal, multiple world, why was an earth theory, or when did you see of a monastery for volunteer acts jolly into the areas of the wilderness or Tibet or Himalayas or wherever you study went to wise men or spiritual people, and then come back to his birthplace and minister.
To set a pattern for you to go by. Set a pattern for you to go by. Do you not seek out the wise men and those who you see light and have the understanding, and you gain the understanding from them, and then you may go to someone else. And this the Master did. He went all over the world. Your New Testament, that you call the Bible, is not exactly correct because it leaves out a lot of his experiences. But the other book, called the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ, is more correctly, and it was channeled recently to the man called Levi. And it tells of the many things that he did, and it is written in a very beautiful way. There is much, much in life to understand. There is much of your understanding that could be adjusted closer to the light of true understanding. When we are born into this physical world, and most of you did not bring your memory with you as Jesus did of who you are, and you find yourself in a physical body and not knowing what life is all about, And so many of the churches confuse you more than they help you. So you search in different ways. But I tell you, my dear ones, the real truth is all within you. This is where you should always look, within yourself. When you come to a class like this tonight, this sparks enthusiasm maybe in you, and it kindles your curiosity. But the real truth for you is inside yourself, and learning to make contact with the God within you is what this plane is all about. And as you do make this contact and hear the truth in your particular understanding that is not the same as anyone else's, and this is why you should look within. Now come to classes, go to different things that you feel are good for you to help you to reach a level where you can learn to hear God speaking to you within yourself. And when you attain that, then your understanding grows with each day, and you have all that you need within yourself. For life is not the physical world that is less than 2%. Life is the inner dimensions. It is the other 98%. And when you just have the physical understanding and the physical knowledge, or whatever you want to call it, then it is almost all illusion. It is not real in the sense of eternity, for it is here today and gone tomorrow. And your physical laws continually change. The eternal laws never change. They always have been, they are, and they always will be. And they are solid, and you can stand upon them, and they will hold you up under any emergency. So it is worth anything for you to learn these eternal laws and how to apply them to your life. Are there other questions, Hassi?
If we add God, if we add God, if we can taste it through the subconscious minds, as we call those, and the conscious mind, and live with the superconscious mind, would He help us to do that?
God is continually helping you, Annabelle. Annabelle, God is continually helping you. But listen a moment, and maybe you can understand. God is giving you, here's one. God gives you the life force. He gives you the light of understanding. He gives you His love. You take these ingredients and put them together, and this is the way that you learn and hold your consciousness high and not drop back. But be patient with yourself, my dear one. You did not get this way overnight, and you will not get out of it overnight, but you will accomplish what you came for.
He does help us see very vividly our deep in this. And maybe the things stand right out like a sore sums. That's the somehow want to be moving.
Yes, and it is revealed to you because you need to see it before you can correct it.
Sounded tired. Ryan, when you came to what he says, not last week, I listened to it on the Satan. I said, that this is what I want to step out of that.
Yes, we step out of the darkness into the light. Then, excuse me.
Do other people feel that way too?
Yes, other people feel depressed, they feel down. The masses on your plane are depressed most of the time because they do not understand. You who have been given a little light to see by, and you take this light and you move with it, and you gain more light. You feel grateful. Let the attitude of gratitude move you higher and higher, and allow yourself to be led by God. Do not try to push your way into heaven, but relax and be at peace, and listen to the still small voice that is within you. And through peace and understanding and the power of God's love, you can accomplish anything that you desire. It is not difficult, but it seems that it is because you have been programmed in a negative way for so long, for many lifetimes, some of you. And now you are reprogramming yourself. And it does take a little time to get the subconscious to thinking in the way that will lift you out of the darkness. Are there other questions this evening?
There's another question. And I thought that after we have we go to the consciousness, to the realm of our consciousness, and inside this that all phenomena, that all entities are first the same consequences going to give.
You're talking about the physical family?
No.
Yeah, the spiritual family, yes. You have a spiritual family, and it depends on what you do with this lifetime. But you will automatically gravitate to where you are. There is a saying that water seeks its own level, and when you graduate to this plane, you automatically go to where your level of consciousness is. And there are others around you that are very much like you, so you are in tune with the place that you are in, unless it is a plane of darkness and dimness. There are many, many trapped on these planes of darkness and dimness, and I would ask you to send them God's love several times a day, but release them immediately to God, and be not concerned about it.
And I put the other question, and always said about the science and the silent within us here. If they are not so on the same level of scientists, we're not scientists there on the other side.
Yes and no. You can visit them if they are not on your level of consciousness, or they can visit you. It depends on which is the higher level. The higher level can visit the lower dimensions below them. But be not concerned about this. Your true family is your spiritual family. And I know that you make close bond with your physical family sometimes, and sometimes you do not. But we are all one in God. You see, my dear, there's only one life in the whole of creation and all the universe. We are one with all. And this may sound confusing when we talk about different dimensions and so on, but it is still true. Just as this thumb on this hand cannot say, I don't like your four fingers anymore, I'm throw off and leave you. And that is not more than saying to another individual, I do not want to associate with you anymore. We are all connected. We all share the same life force. And so we are one in God.
Which brings a question.
I'm still.
You're talking about the spiritual failing. Many times the term soul rate, and that's you. What was the stricter first definition from your claim from your side, and how does it relate to the spiritual family or the soul that a group of family has come to?
Your question could be misunderstood and misleading. You are all one in God. This answers your question. We like to think that we have that perfect individual waiting for us someplace. That perfect individual is within you, my dear one. It is your higher self. It is that part of you that is one with God and knows that it is one with God. There are many who are very close to the level of consciousness that you are, and you could call them your soulmate. You see, everyone in truth is your soulmate because we are not separated. Your question leads in to thinking of us being separated. But we are never separated, even those on the dark plane. They are one with God and one with us. And those on the highest planes are one with God and one with us. When you understand this, then you realize that the one sitting next to you is as much you as God is. Does this help your understanding?
Thanks. I heard so much criticism than bar, but I saw a place up there on the TV, and the lead she was just, and though she says that they all does what they think about her, I thought she was just adorable, like an adorable little kid, and I felt that she was shy and was throwing up her smoke screen just to kind of protect itself. I saw nothing but me in that water. And I don't, I don't, she sort of think it was herself, and I don't see how she could be so bad.
My dear Annabelle, you are speaking of personalities. You are not speaking of the real individual.
I didn't see her that way at all, like people.
It doesn't matter what experience that you have. It matters greatly how you handle the experience.
When I started, I didn't think she intentionally really trying to be offensive. I didn't think she was. I thought she would stop shy and signs to protect it.
And this is the way that you should see everyone. When you look in the eyes of anyone, you're looking in the eyes of God. When you commune with nature, you're communing with God. Because the trees and the grass, the birds and the animals are all as much of God as you are. There is no separation in life. Life is one.
And the deal stands still.
I do not understand what you say.
But I felt that she was just like a little kid that full of blood.
It is interesting to think of these things and other people, but it can lead into gossip. Because you see, you are looking at the personality, not the real spiritual being. We are all wearing our personalities on this physical plane,
They're all states of personalities.
Yeah, it's false. And when you can put aside the persona, the personality, and let God manifest through you, then you are being your true self, and you're being true to yourself. That is the way to be true to yourself, is to allow God to manifest through you in all his glory, in true humility, knowing who you are, and walking your path, knowing that he is singing to you with the celestial music, knowing that he is speaking to you at all times.
With everyone.
Everyone. But everyone as individuals. This has led into an interesting class tonight, and there's much, much more to learn and to understand. Are there other questions this evening? As you move through your experiences on this plane, allow yourself to remember that God is the life force that you are, and to remember that he is always communicating with you, not always in words or with the voice that you hear now, but with knowing, with understanding, listening for him, and see his beauty everywhere you look, for he is everywhere present, and he loves you greatly. Be aware of this love, and let his divine love flow through you like a huge fountain to cover this whole planet and to move out into the whole universe. For God's love is not limited in any way, as you are not limited in any way. This has been a beautiful time to experience with you, and I leave you with the blessing of God's love. Good evening, my friends. Should we stand at all hands?
As they full man bring some together, and through the forings we have them and serves. And let this be symbolic of the whole of life. That it once through and a circle of life. Everyone in the whole universe. And let it feel God's love going around with thirsty and building up. Higher and higher. Fill their swimming. Filling out over the step. And cutting the so fat. And going out to the whole universe. And it's from the God's love flying ahead of us. And the drift weak. Into our every thought, word, and beauty. On their riches of light and their count. Let us be more aware of the clever to be about the mind. Cut this make down and find the time that these in all yet and in the middle of these things. If I held that, kind of if I know if I start guessing that for anything,